Hey everyone, welcome back to the island of Fern and Typhoon. If you're new here, hi, my name's Corinne. I'm happy that you are here. In today's video, we are going to be doing a build attached onto this school build that I did in a previous video. This build is going to have like a playground area and all that fun stuff that you would see attached to a school. So let's just get right into it and I'll explain a little bit more. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. And yeah, let's go play some Animal Crossing. So if you have not seen this build, this is my classroom build for my Kidcore island. If this is your first time on the island, welcome Kidcore. It's fun, we're having a good time. But today I wanted to add on to everything. So we got a few builds that we're going to be building in this video. So first over here is like the playground blacktop area. I don't know if blacktop is like a term that everyone knows. Like I don't know if that's like a universal term, but basically when I was growing up, we had a playground at our school, like in elementary school. And then we had a blacktop that was like basically like a driveway. It's just like a square of pavement. Usually it will have like basketball hoops or like a few other games like Foursquare lines, like even maybe like hopscotch, like things like that. But it was called the blacktop because it was the color black. I don't know. I don't know why else would they. I guess there's really no other name for it. That is just a memory that I have from school. So, and sometimes we would only be allowed if it was raining too hard. Like if it had rained too hard and like the playground was muddy, we would sometimes only be allowed to play on the blacktop. So I just feel like it's like essential for a playground area. Sorry if that was an over explanation, but I feel like that's not like a universal term. But anyway, we have, so I already, like, as you guys can see, I've already put down some in-game paths. So this is going to be like the playground area. Back here is all of my tree storage, so we will work this out later, but that's why all those trees are there. And then this is like my other area, like blacktop area. So I did the sizes because that's what I thought might be fun, like a little like L-shape moment, but if I need to make this bigger, I'll make this part bigger. Then I found this fun Kidcore path, off the beaten path, but still, you know, a path, less nature-y. Added some trees in, and then this connects to the front of the island, which is where resident services is, and I added these cliffs to match these cliffs. Not only are we going to be doing the playground outdoor school area, but we are also going to be building the apartments on this side of resident services. They are not identical. If you look at a map, you can tell that the right side is way longer and just bigger than the left side, but it just didn't work to go all the way over, and that's why that path is there. And I wanted to give the school like a designated area, and from what I've laid out, there's still enough room behind the school to put another build in on the island, or a few more builds, just depending on what I want to do. And I'm still here to say that I'm still thinking that I'm going to change up the neighborhood as well. I'm gonna start out with the playground area, and then I'm going, oh god, I can't speak. We're gonna start off building the playground area, and then we will move forward as time goes on, as the video is on. I also would like to get this like filler area sorted out, and yeah, there's trees here, but I want to put in some other things, like some items and flowers and shrubs and things like that, just to fill everything out. So we will make sure to do that. Also, this little tiny bit of water right here, I would like to make a little pond or river. I was thinking maybe even moving the river back behind here. I know the shape would be kind of weird, but I just want to make sure there's a little bit more water on the island. I think definitely though, we'll probably extend it to like this at the bare minimum. Let's get decorating. So first off, I knew I wanted to have some type of fence because in my mind, like if it was a legitimate school, like the playground's gonna be relatively like closed off. Like you don't need children like running away, you know? That was just how I felt. I also wanted to give the area like a little bit more structure instead of just two splotches of path. So Oh, and that cone that I just laid down, I want to add cones to the final of this entire build where like the blacktop is, because in my mind that's just like, it just fits, which you guys will see in the final build. So more cones will be added eventually, but what I decided to do is on the path just to start out with is to put down all these custom designs. Most of the custom designs are by Crystal Cat. Amazing. They are an incredible creator. They probably make, in my opinion, well, they probably make the best Animal Crossing codes in the history of Animal Crossing, but in my opinion, they do make the best codes. So I'll link their Twitter down below. I need to make a card with all of the custom designs for the island. I still need to do that, but Crystal Cat is the majority of the designs, and I've said that multiple times, but that's just if you were curious. I wanted to add the benches for sure, because that in my mind is where like the teachers are sitting during recess. And I also, even though recess you don't really do like arts and crafts, I really like the painting set items, so I wanted to have a little painting area in this like little baby chair. I just think that's really cute. It's kind of unusable, but you know, it's fine. I like to keep storage sheds around the island. I say that all the time. On all of my islands, I really like storage sheds, so that's why I added a storage shed in the back. Plus, I love my custom design on it, and it's just, I don't know, it's just like a nice layering piece. I wanted the blacktop to be kind of like an area where, I know I described it a little bit earlier in the video, but I wanted there to be like bikes and things that you can like ride around on, because I feel like that's something fun that you could do as a kid on like a road, and you can't do that in the dirt. So, you know, I mean technically, but you guys know what I mean. Moving over to the playground section of the build, like I said, put all those custom designs down. Just wanted it to be like fun and cute, and those crayon custom designs are my favorite. I think they're adorable. But yeah, I just wanted it to be like a fun area, and I wish, like, truly, Animal Crossing doesn't really have that many good like playground things, so I kind of had to get like slightly creative. This rock climbing wall, if my elementary school had a rock climbing wall like that, we'd be a lot cooler and probably have a lot more injuries, but I wanted to add it because it's just like added on, because like this piece, like the jungle gym, is like really the only like playground thing that the game has. I am a huge fan of this elephant slide as well, but it's not really playground to me. Another thing that was like kind of hurting me in this build was that it was most of the things I put down, it was kind of impractical to move, but I mean, like, it's cute, so like, sorry, I can't help it. As I'm decorating, so this is where we are so far, I realized I have a few of like, I have like a basketball, soccer ball, a volleyball. I feel like we should have a soccer field. I feel like that's a very school thing to have. So I'm thinking maybe back here we do a little soccer field moment. Is that too much? I have no idea. Maybe just a single soccer goal. I think I have a custom design code that could go well with it, but I'm gonna see if we can add that in. Wow, he's really giving me the side eye right now. Okay. Back into speed mode decorating. I was so happy that I thought of adding the soccer area to this build, because I wanted some type of like soccer or some type of sports field on the island, but it takes up a lot of space, so I didn't really know what I was going to do. And then there's the whole thing of downloading specific custom designs and just for one build. But I am really happy with how like the soccer area turned out, especially because on my playground, and so this basing a lot of this off of my childhood, there was a giant soccer field. We had an amazing area on my elementary school, like an amazing play area. It was like honestly like pretty sick. Now like going back and thinking about it, but there was a giant soccer field that was super fun, and like it was just it's such something in my childhood that I'm happy that I could include in this build. Just like that basketball, blacktops associate with basketball hoops to me, because like that's what like I would do with my dad on the weekends, is like go to schools and like play basketball outside. I don't know, if I didn't already have like a regular basketball game, so these are like personal things to me, I guess. Also at this point of the build, I was like, why is this so empty? Like I was just feeling so like ugh, I just like hate this. Like, it's just not, there's not enough space, there's not enough things, like, and I forgot that, you know, you can like use weeds and flowers and items that you can run through. So eventually I add those and it makes the space look, in my opinion, a lot better. Also, Pietro just decided to come in and start playing on the playground before it was done, so really appreciate that one, buddy. And to go along with the build feeling kind of empty, I didn't have any landscaping around the build. I didn't have, all the trees in the back are, like, that's my tree storage. Like, that's where, it's just, that's where I have kept all my trees this whole time. And it looks fine, but I, like, right now I'm in this clip, I'm literally running around trying to figure out, like, why does this all look so bad, in my opinion. I mean, I think it turned out great, honestly, but at this point I was like, I hate this, like, it's so ugly. I don't know, I'm just, like, sometimes get a little in my head, but I eventually realized, like, oh, okay, we need a fence in the back, and we need to move the trees around, and I forgot, I lost the footage of me planting trees in the back, but I did do that eventually. I put some trees behind, and then I'll put a fence where, like, the soccer section's gonna be, and I put trees all around there, and it honestly, like, it looks a lot better than without the trees, so just, like, know in your guys' hearts that I did that eventually. But one of my favorite things to do is take this fence, take the long wood fencing, the long tall wood fencing, and so you can see right there, sorry, I cut myself off, you can see that I'm starting to, like, landscape a little bit. Oh, perfect fencing. So, and I use these 3 colors, and I think I could use the purple one too, or the 4 colors, but in this video I'm using the 3, and I just act like it's one fence, but I just alternate colors. And for this island, it looks so good. Like, I'm obsessed with it. I did it in the neighborhood, but as we all know, the neighborhood is dead to me and I need to fix it, but I just have not fixed it because it stresses me out. But it just adds it's so cute. Like, it is just so freaking adorable, and it makes my heart so happy. But then we got into our little soccer section of the build, adding that fence just kind of around the soccer goal to, you know, just around the space off and, like, give it a designated space. This is another area. I tried to put some custom design lines down, but they looked ugly, and I was just not about it. But as soon as I added flower and weeds into the area, it just felt so much better. I'm an Animal Crossing decorator. If this is your first time ever seeing one of my decorating videos, I'm a very more is more. Like, I am like, fill up every single square. If you saw Coco K, which was my jungle core island, which was my 30-day island challenge, that island was like the definition of my decorating, because there's just something in every single square inch of that island. There's like so many weeds, glowing moss, flowers, trees, bushes, just everywhere, items, like just everywhere. It's just chaos, but it works in my opinion. So it's hard for me to do things like this, like city builds. And obviously this isn't specifically a city build, but like a more city-based island, instead of a nature-based island. It's harder for me to do that because there's not going to be like weeds everywhere, and weeds are my best friend, and glowing moss is my best friend. So as soon as I added some of that stuff, it looks really good. Also, I was so pissed that I had, right before this, because I visited some treasure islands before this build to like prep up with a bunch of items that I needed. I had the water cooler item, and I didn't pick it up, and because even though I wanted to, because I wanted more room for other things, and it would have been perfect and over there in that little corner, but now I have that like fruity drink thing, so I need a water cooler. But here is where the build starts to get juicy. It's where we start to marinate. I hate myself. But it's where it starts to get good. We start putting all the flowers in, putting all the weeds in, and then I put the weeds in the actual playground area, and this right there, like those, like chef's kiss. So cute. I love when they're grown out. Oh my god, they look even better. Also, I wanted to follow up with this like theme on my island, where the front of my island, which you will actually see later in the video if you want to, or if you stick around, you will see it later in the video. I have a bus with a bunch of gyroids in it. So I'm like, oh, well, the gyroids are going to be going to school here too. So like there's a gyroid playing soccer, there's a gyroid about to climb the climbing wall, and I think I'm going to switch up the chairs in the classroom and put gyroids in the classroom as well. So like the gyroids are the little kiddos of the island, and I love gyroids. They're probably one of my favorite things. They're probably like my second favorite thing in the game. I say this all the time. My favorite thing in the game are like actually the crops, like the pumpkins and the tomatoes and the sugarcane. I don't know, I just love them so much. I love crops, they make me so happy. But I really like the gyroids on the island. I just think gyroids are so cute, you know? They just like look at him. Look at this guy, he's painting. He won't fit in that baby chair, so he's gonna sit on the floor and the chair's just gonna be there. Impractical, but I love it. It's completely fine. I just love them. For now, this side of the school, the playground area is done. So I'm gonna walk you guys through that right now. So first we start off here. This is the blacktop area. We got some benches, have a storage shed. Oh, I should probably add some stuff up. Oh my God. I can add some stuff on top of this storage shed if I want to. I did like a little painting area, and then we got some tricycles just because it might be fun to bike around, and blacktops remind me of basketball, so I loved playing basketball during elementary school. I don't know why. This is something that makes me happy, so I put a basketball there. And then we move over to like the playground dirt area, covered in a mess of stuff. But we have the sandbox, a volleyball down here, a little elephant slide, playground area, and a rock climbing wall. I feel like not that many playgrounds have a rock climbing wall, but I thought it would just be cool. And then another thing that I liked doing during elementary school is playing soccer, so I figured having a little soccer field might be super fun. And this tree is a peach tree, so it'll eventually grow peaches. And yeah, also this fence is some of my favorite fence to use on this island. I love the colors, and I love just alternating and pretending it's one fence. So now I am going to move into this area of the island. We're gonna go up here in these cliffs and extend the apartment buildings that are from this side over that way. And we are back with another voiceover. So yeah, this might look really familiar to some of y'all because y'all, I don't say that, some of you all. You know, I started saying y'all when I worked for Disney because I really wanted to use like a gender inclusive term, but I'm not from the South, so, and I don't have a Southern / country accent because not all people that have like that like twang accent are from the South. Fun fact about America. But so I never know what to say. I never know if I should say a Southern accent or a country accent. I don't know if is that offensive to anyone? If it is, I apologize, but nonetheless, I don't have an accent, so like that type of accent. So I have an American accent. Oh my God, Corinne, I'm going insane right now. But I'm just gonna keep this in. We're just gonna roll. I have an American accent, as we all can tell, sometimes with a lisp because I had a lisp for like years, and it comes out still sometimes. So I'll just roast myself, I guess. But I started saying y'all as like a gender inclusive term for when I worked for Disney World, because that's one, it's just like a nice thing to say. Like, I don't want to assume anyone's gender. I just like gender inclusive terms. But with Disney, you have to be very specific about things that you say. And the biggest one that people said was friends, which is a great, gender inclusive term. But I was a lifeguard and I hated calling adults friends. Because you can hear stories like this all the time of people who work for Disney, and this is not me saying anything bad about Disney or working for Disney, and I do not speak for the brand or the company, but a lot of guests or people that stay there treat the employees like crap. And one thing that I found is that if I called adults friends, they treated me worse. And like, I barely, my role wasn't super guest interactive because I was a lifeguard. So I wasn't supposed to talk to people. But nonetheless, I started saying y'all instead of friends. And I'm not even joking, adults started treating me better. And I think it was honestly more welcoming. I feel like when you say y'all, it's like a more welcoming term. Because I am really, it's just not, I want it to be gender inclusive. Like, yeah, anyway. So I started saying y'all, and it doesn't fit with my, accent. But when I moved over to my real world job, that stuck with me. And so I had to break the habit of saying y'all on professional calls, and that was embarrassing. Because it just, I don't know, it was just embarrassing. Anyway, that was a very long-winded story. I haven't talked about the decorating at all. So, I try to say you all now. That is my biggest thing. But anyway, this build might look really familiar because I did a very similar build earlier. And if you want to go watch that, you can see the full thing. It's called like an apartment. I called it an apartment building build. But I use simple panels and the lofted bunk beds to look like buildings, and then I line them up down the mountain, as you can see, down the cliffs in a row, so they look like apartment buildings. And I really like it, and I liked it enough that to put it on both sides of resident services. It was just kind of like a tight fit, since resident services is so close to the left side of the island. But sorry to go off on such a long-winded tangent. I don't know. But how this decorating works for me is to set up all of the bunk beds and like the quote end quote apartment buildings, and then start adding in the details, which can be a little bit more complicated, but there's so many different colors and panels and bunk beds that it's just easier in my brain to keep track of when I do it all at once, and then if I have to move stuff later, that's how I do it. So that was my chair. I apologize for my squeaky chair. Take a shot every time. No, don't actually. We don't promote drinking unless you're over the age of 21 in America. Anyway, one of my favorite things to do when decorating this space is to use those festival balloons or anything that can be higher up. So any type of balloon, because those have movement, but then also the floating blocks and like that, the question mark block from the Mario series. I especially love the floating blocks because you can put stuff on top of them, and I just think that's so freaking fun and cute, and you can see it all, and I just love it. It gives it so much dimension. It just makes me super happy. Also, I realized this after I did this build that I had a lot more diversity of items when I was doing the other side. So I had a lot of like phone booths and like the porta potties. I don't know what the name is actually, and like the name is actually for the actual item. And then I had simple panels that had like fake windows on them. And so after I did the build, and you guys will see I kind of laugh at myself because I use so many similar items, I realized that it wasn't like, there was just a lot of repetitive decorating. I think it looked fine, but if I end up absolutely like hating it, I will go back and change it. I also really like that utility pole item for this build because it's so tall. It like also, once again, gives the build just more dimension and layering. Oh my god, my chair is on a roll today. But I really wanted some tall stuff for this particular section of the build because this is right behind resident services. So like those balloons will stick out a lot more and look a lot better in that section. Another item that I'm obsessed with is this pink drink machine. I love the drink machines, but specifically this pink one. Oh, and any Mario items. Just all the Mario items. I love them. I think they look so cute in the island. And I haven't got to use them in any of my other islands, so I really just abuse them on this island. Oh, another thing that I feel like adds, once again, say it with me ladies and gents, and theys and thems, dimension. I started cracking up at myself because I feel like I just sounded like an idiot, but it's a bubble machine. I just love the bubble machine on this apartment build. Like, I just think it's so cute. I love it. It adds dimension. I don't know. The layering in Animal Crossing, like that is the way that you have to decorate, and it's just perfect. With the storage shed that I just laid down, I do want to customize that. I like my storage sheds to have like the custom designs on them from the island, but decorating storage sheds are so annoying. Like taking stuff to Harv's Island, not decorating storage sheds, but customizing items is so annoying to me. I hate that we have to go all the way to Harv's Island. You can't multi-customize something. It is just, honestly, it's my least favorite thing in Animal Crossing. So eventually, hopefully, I will take that. I also really like using this like clothing rack as well to add a little bit of layering to the build. There's that drink machine again. See, I literally used like 5 items. I used superstars, I used drink machines, I used the balloons, I used, what am I, oh, the fire flowers, and then like maybe, like, and then I maybe mixed things up a little bit. I was like, you know what, instead of a green mushroom, I'll put down a red mushroom this time, like, 'cause it's all the same item. I just decided just to go for everything just matching each other. So maybe if I wanted to add a little more dimension, a little more variety, dimension wasn't the correct word there, it was variety. A little more variety I would have. Oh, another thing is that the last time I did the other side of this like apartment building build, y'all, there it is again. You all suggested, or a few of you suggested, to add in trees to the build. As much as I want to add trees into the build, honestly, I just didn't have enough space. It's really hard to like add trees in, and as we all know with Animal Crossing, they can only go in like specific spaces that honestly I think are super stupid. And I could have done some of like the tree hacks, but I was like, it would really only improve it, in my opinion, like 1% more. And I was like, is that 1% improvement worth the headache that I'm about to get to try to get these trees in there? So I skipped over it. And I do agree that I think the trees would look better. Oh, that's the other item I used over and over, the freaking festival garland. I do agree that trees would look way better. And it would look great all together. But I was lazy. I was very lazy. So I apologize. But maybe next time. Maybe next time. Now it's time to decorate the floor level of this build. Started off with at least 1 gyroid, but I wanted to decorate the top of the storage shed, and then this is where that layering like really had to shine, because I had, you know, way more room than I do on the other apartment levels on the other cliffs above. So, and I have beef with my past decorating self, because for this entire build I would lay down like 1 item and then I would run to the storage shed and pick up another item, and I did that over and over and over again for each of these single tiny freaking items that I'm laying down. I cut it all out so you guys didn't have to suffer through it like I did, but I lay like what, like max like 6 items here, and I had to go to the storage shed like 20 times. So why? Or look through my freaking pockets. But this is what we ended up with. Layering, fun items, balloons, everything, and all the public bench. That's my favorite public bench, the color. And just, that's just what I decided. I was like, what? I was like, oh, this is such a hard decision to make. And I'm like, no, you just literally took everything that you put up there and put it down here, but you just decided to take longer to put it there and run to the storage shed 7 times. But you know what? It's fine. I like the gumball machine though. Okay, this is gonna be slightly hard for me to show you, but we finished. So you can kind of see everything. I utilized a lot of stars in that one area. Oh my god! I didn't even realize I used the stars in the fire flowers in the same space. I had a few like more like some more like diversity in items last time I did this, but honestly, like, I'm pretty proud of this. Like, it's pretty cute, you know? I don't know. I love using the festival balloons, of course, as you can see. I love using the bubble machines. I think it's super fun. The stars are adorable. The stars, you can't tell, are my favorite thing to put into builds, but you know what, it is what it is. I might customize this storage shed, but other than that, like, I'm relatively happy with it. I really do like this build. And so now from resident services, which there's a bug off today, so just ignore me, like, not ignore me, ignore Flick, please. But like, that's just kind of what it looks like in the back. I really like the balloons. Like, that's something that makes me super happy. Like, just with the movement. And then if you didn't know, this is the other section, the other side. So I'm really happy with this, to be completely honest. Oh, and I didn't even show this. I did this off camera. I finished off this area. So we have like two just little like nooks, like these little nooks of as much stuff as I could shove in as possible. So the trees, and then oil barrels, coins, festival balloons, everything. If you can't tell, the balloons and the stars, once again, are like, they are my absolute favorite thing to use on the island. I just think they're just so fun. I don't know, and they're just so fun. Like, I don't know what else to say. I also just love items that you can run through, so that's why there's coins all over the island as well. But yeah, so it's like all together. It's like one big happy family, and I am here for it. So now what I need to do is I'm going to place some coins down, and then I need to decorate this street a little bit. So over here, I feel like could use some decor, just like a little bit, maybe a bench or two. And then I need to do something on this side of the street. Okay, so here we are. I actually ran out of this teal fence, so I left some gaps. I honestly think like trees here would be cute anyway, but I might add some more in later. I didn't want the whole row to be a fence anyway, but I put some out just in case. I want this to become some sort of transition area into this path. I think I might do just another like little chunk of path right here, and then somehow guide it this way. I also have a sign for the school that I think will be better to help guide everything. And I know it might be kind of weird to people, like this path and like this route, but it is what it is, and this is just kind of where I'm at with everything. Sorry, I didn't mean to run all the way back there. But ignoring the weird cutoff, this is what we have so far. So you've already seen like this part of it. I think it looks really good. I'm really proud of it, and I think it looks super cute. Like, I'm a big fan. Like, I think, you know, I think I did really well. But I mean, some stuff is a little bit repetitive, but it's okay. I love when balloons fly by with this build too. It's just so cute. And then we got a little seating section over here. Not super exciting. I think more of like filler than anything. I also decided to add a crosswalk in because there wasn't one over here, and I feel like the crosswalks are super cute. Plus I love the crosswalk symbol that I have with the little heart. I just think it's the cutest thing ever. And I wanted to make sure that I included this hopscotch because this is my favorite code that I have, is this like little hopscotch that's also like an apple. Like, what? I love it so much. And then another little bench area, and then up here I would say this is super, it's a little bare for me, it's a little blank, so I might add some more things here, but I need to get like fire hydrants and things like that, and more coins and everything. I'm just like running out of items. But yeah, I mean, besides maybe one or two things, this is done, which is super exciting because I really had no idea what I was gonna do with this part of the entrance. So this is like what I'm calling Main Street, even though there's really nothing on it. But I mean, like, the apartments are there and resident services is there, but it's huge. Like, it's one big main street, like main long street. This is the entrance, just like that. Like, that's it. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. And then if you go back this way, it's kind of, they're pretty symmetrical, but not at all. Because this side is way bigger than the other side. And then yeah, that's just it. I love it so much, and I'm just really happy that I ended up doing this. Oh, when I hit me with your net, that's rude. But I'm really happy that I ended up doing this build. So now all I really need to do is add in the transition area over here, and yeah, we'll be set to go for this whole area. But with that all being said, I'm actually going to end the video here. I have been decorating for a really long time, and these builds took me a little bit longer to do than I expected, which I'm fine with, but I am getting a little bit tired, and I would rather decorate in a better headspace with more items that I need than complete that entire transition path and just like with what I have and it not be my favorite thing, because I'm really taking my time on this island, and I'm happy about that, and I just want to make sure that everything I'm doing is almost as perfect as I can make it, as close to perfect as I can make it, because nothing's going to be perfect. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys being here. Let me know what you think of the builds, and if you like what I did, I would love some feedback. I always like talking to you guys about this stuff, so I always love when you comment, so thank you for those who do. But make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and turn on the notification bell to get notified every time that I upload. We have some really exciting videos coming up, and if you haven't checked out my series on my other island, my Chance series, super fun. I'm doing a little bit of a challenge. I'm kind of terrible at it, but you know what, I think it's still fun, so make sure to go check that out. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and it helps out the channel a lot. But with that all being said, thank you guys once again. I'm so happy that you watched the video. I love you all very much, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!